Loyalty to Talk. I'm your co-host, RudeBoyArtist, alongside
MrsMelaninReigns, and we are here today with
Almira Léonché.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes. So, tell a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you get into some of the work that you're doing currently?
So I'm CEO of an organization called Second Chance Fashion, and most of our work at the moment is being done in Sierra Leone, West Africa. And so we work with orphans. For now, every year we create a fundraiser event that basically collects backpacks, hygiene packets, and all the games and activities needed for a big field day. Last year we did 300 orphans. Wow. This year is 500 orphans. And they come from all over the city. And with that, we just want to make sure that, it's my family's homeland. It's my way of giving back. I wasn't born there. I was born in Washington, D.C., but at times I will go into my accents. I will make sure that the Africana comes out so people know me very, very well. But other than that, I want to stay true to who I am. And I was like, what better not a way to just give back through the children? Because those are the ones that are going to eventually take over the country.
Yes.
So.
Okay, so my question to you is, like, you kind of touched on it, but what really inspired you? Like, what was the defining moment, and then overall, what inspired you?
Well, I have a love for children, period. I have 4 kids of my own, and whenever I see their needs, they all have their own unique personalities, and there should be someone there that will help them develop their gifts and talents. So besides just doing a festival, I also want to be there to help them dig in to what God created them to be. When I was growing up, I didn't feel like people really took time to understand that I have many gifts and talents, but how to help it to evolve. So with them, they really don't have the resources to make that blossom. Me going back and forth over the years, I just seen that, oh my gosh, they don't have a piano to play. Even if they wanted to just learn piano, they don't have a coach that'll teach them how to sing. Just the creative arts field in general is where I want to touch more so. Mm-hmm. So I guess it started out with me when I was younger and feeling like I was a little bit neglected in that area. Mm-hmm. And then I said, well, how can I give back? Because I see my kids. Let me see how I can raise them up in their gifts and talents. And now let's take it overseas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's amazing.
Thank you.
So during your whole complete journey, what would you say has been the most challenging part for you?
Ooh, having people actually believe in the dream and raising funds for it. You end up taking a couple of classes here and there to understand how to really get deep into fundraising. But at first it's just, okay, it's going to go from your paycheck and whatever you can grab and whatever friends that kind of believe in it. And my thing is, starting small was just not a thing for me. It's like, there's so many of them. When you drive down the street, they're all in your face, like, hey, you're from America, what's going on? So you don't want to leave anyone out. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's like, oh, I just can't start small. I'm just going to do it big. It was a struggle for the first one, but it happened. It happened. Now I'm just like, I hear God saying, go ahead, leap higher, because you already finished the first one. Now see what doors will open for the second one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You touched on something that I know a lot of entrepreneurs and artists and different people in the community face, which is the lack of belief and lack of support at times as well. What do you think really kept driving you? Like, was there ever a moment, first and foremost, that you were like, can I really do this? Or were you like really driven by, I know I can do this? Or was it a mix of both?
It's a mix of both. Because, when you, especially when it does help to have funders. Mm-hmm. But for my own belief, how can I push myself if nobody's there? And it was just, okay, I just see the smile on their faces. And when you come by, they're just like, Auntie, everyone calls you Auntie. Mm-hmm. Auntie, oh my gosh, Auntie, you're back. What are we going to do? Oh, we love it. You just made our day, blah, blah, blah. And that, right, in itself was like, oh no, I don't even have a choice. I just have to do it whether I'm crying or not. I'm just going to make sure it happens. Of course, through prayer, because it's not all by my strength. But I think that was the driving force behind everything. Just seeing their faces and knowing that you're making a difference in their life, it just changed everything.
Different type of vibe, right?
Yeah, different type of vibe.
Earlier you said that you're a mother of 4. So
yes.
With you being a mother of 4, how do you find that balance and connect that balance to the work that you're doing overall?
Oh, thank goodness they're older. The oldest one is 20, the youngest one is 13. and they're okay with it. They themselves love children, so they're no longer in diapers. They're all making good grades in school. Juggling, it can be a challenge, but when it comes time for that time of the year, to get up and go and stay in Africa for 3 weeks, their father got them. So it's good.
Okay. One of the things that I also want to ask you is, during that time period, was there any specific thing that you saw on your journey that made you feel like, I have to keep going with this? Because I know you said, you had a mix of both of those feelings.
Yeah.
But was there anything specific, like when you got to Sierra Leone, like, or in the beginning phases, that made you really feel like, I have to keep going with this?
When you're listening to the news and you're hearing other influencers back home talking about the needs of the country, and a lot of them will say, we just got out of college, we just got out of school, and there's no work for us. And for me, I'm taking care of two groups of kids. You got the ones who are babies, the ones that are toddlers, and the ones that just want to have fun. We would call it elementary, middle school group. But the high schoolers going into college, it was like, I need something that's going to be, how would you say, activities that will help them to progress. So as soon as they hit that mark, and this is what I'm saying, it's just because those ones became the people that would help me volunteer to take care of the little ones. How would I say? What was the driving force? To actually see them go past their limit. When you're seeing them graduate, they have no work, and they're on the streets hawking. That's what I was trying to get to, because I had the image when you were talking. And it doesn't matter what age you are. They were sitting there at 7 years old. They had like buckets on their head selling boiled eggs in the middle of the hot sun. It feels like the equator. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they could do something better with that. You have people who are artists that they paint the mess out. I mean, you talk about African Picasso, you would be like, what? And they have no place to sell it. So it's like, okay, what can I do? What type of doors can I open? And I myself have my own fashion line out of all the other types of businesses I have. And I was selling on Etsy. You sell on Pinterest, or at least show your work on Pinterest. So it could be something that leads them back to your website. I'm like, wow, if you could just help to mold their talents, get them to create a product, and that product could be sold on behalf of them in the States, where they can make state money, not make third world country money. And then it comes back and pays for their $100 school fees. Like, oh my gosh, that's all we have to do for you? This is good. So I think that was the force of, I want to see it not just be something that starts out fun. Yes, we have the carnival that happens every year. But as they get older, what else can they do with what we've taught them, or what we've instilled in them? I don't know if that makes sense. I kind of felt like I was around. All around.
No, that made really sense.
Right. So I see you do a lot of work back home in Africa, right? So what ways, just want you to, if you already said it, just kind of redirect the focus of how you bridge the gap between what you got going on there and like what you like to do.
Okay, so for now, I'm working with the African student associations in the different high schools.
Okay.
So that's it was a great segue for my kids. My two oldest joined the dance team. They joined the dance team, but they were just more than just a dance team. They did community service and other things of that nature. So I was like, how could I get it where I can help them with the community service hours? You know how they have requirements before they graduate? And I was like, okay, this is Africa helping Africa. It's over here in the United States doing it, and there's so many groups. It's not just high schoolers, but there's college groups also who want to give back to Africa in some kind of way. So let me be the door. Let it be a chance where I'll say, this year we got sponsored by such and such. I'm going to take a group of 30 students to Sierra Leone. Like, I heard they used to do that way back in the day. I never went on one of those trips. My parents were too afraid. But they're like, you want to go where? But other than that, I was like, they already love their country because they grew up in their households knowing about Africa. They're the second generation, first or second generation African Americans. And they're like, well, where is that door? Not even that. Just to have them communicate with the kids online. We're trying to do a pen pal thing. and that's still in development because I'm trying to create an app that will allow them to talk back and forth, and have parental, supervision, so they know they're not talking to some adult or some craziness online. But I think for now it'll be when we're getting ready for the festival. The high schools can help us. They can help package the backpacks, the hygiene packets, and everything else. And then in the end, we can develop something where they're teaching each other. So you have the kids in Africa teaching the kids in America how to do certain things, and then vice versa.
Okay. Your journey, your story, everything you're doing, it shows that purpose is not a destination. It is really a journey. Because it's so big already, and I want to commend you. And we're looking forward to all the connections that we will make with you. What do you see for it? Because it can only grow. It only grows, and it's so large now. What more do you want to see from what you're doing?
I kind of feel like it's on a small scale. For now, only because we do the festival just so we can get them to trust us. Because there's a lot of people who go overseas who have big intentions, and all they're doing is taking pictures of the kids and saying, this is what we're doing, we're raising money for this, and then they don't put the money towards it. No, I'm in it. I'm diving in. My big initiative at first, before we even create some vocational campus and university, that'll be way into the future. But maybe not way. Let me not say that, Lord, sorry. Because you never know. Someone can hear you and be like, oh, is that what you want to do? In the meantime, those who are out in the streets and actually have natural talents, like I said, artists or musicians, glass blowers, or people who braid hair, cut hair or whatever. I want them to actually do a rotation to go to each orphanage home and actually train them how to do the same crafts that they do. And then in return, we're teaching them how to become teachers, because those who are teaching the kids, they're like, okay, I know how to make a rug, but you want me to train a child how to do that? I was like, you have to learn how to have patience. So it's like, I guess a complete circle. Yeah.
Passing the knowledge on and the wisdom.
Yes.
So I have just one final question. I just want to know, what has been the biggest challenge for the youth or the children over in Africa that they're facing? Just to kind of shine, because we always get this like stereotype of what's going on in these other countries. So, from your perspective, because you're there actively live, what has been their biggest challenge?
I mean, I'm trying to think how to talk outside of the expertise that I'm in. I think the biggest challenge is being there for them, for their families, and then being there for themselves. So, two sides. Most African parents would be like, I need you to be a lawyer or doctor, because that's all we can really claim as being good work, that you've made a journey and you're making the family name stand out. And then you have the other side, that's probably more on the rich end. You have the poor class, which is a good amount. They're hawking again on the streets, and they're not really putting effort into what God has called them to be, or something that can actually make them money. They just don't know it. And now they're just hawking all their life. Like literally, let me say that there were these grads who, they graduated and all they were doing was washing cars. And they actually did a whole article on them. And they said, wow, 75% of the numbers probably changed by now, of youth are jobless. What are we gonna do? How's the president gonna flip it around? How's these universities gonna give back to the community for those who can't attend school? And I think right now it's like the hunger is crazy. The hunger to just feed their families is there. But then their own love for whatever they have to do in life, if I'm saying that right, it dies, it goes to the side. So all you're saying is, they're professional. I always say, man, y'all are professional businessmen, because the way they can sell stuff, you would sit here like, are they literally selling brooms on their head, walking down the middle of the aisle? The what's it called? The traffic? What's that thing called now? The one that's in the middle of the traffic, anyway. So they're walking down, they'll have that. They'll have toilet tissue on their hair. You've ever seen those pictures where they have the bowls and it goes up really high in the air, whatever material they're holding? It's anything. It's toiletry, things that you sell to make your toilet bowl blue, brooms, canned goods, anything. You're just like, first of all, how do they even put that on their head? But how are they actually selling it? And it's more so the tourists that will come in that they may not even need it, but they'll just buy it. But that's like their whole focus is on just, okay, how am I gonna make that dollar? How am I gonna survive? How am I gonna take care of my family? And then it's like no outlets to really make more than $1 a day. You know.
And I think that's where it goes hand in hand and the balance is fine, because to me that just spells entrepreneurship all the way around. So you know, if they get a chance to come over in America and have that same potential as being an entrepreneur, you know, that's when doors begin to completely open up. So
big time.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Let the people know where they can find you.
I have my website is www.secondchancefashion.org. And second, you spell all the way out, because if you spell it with just 2 ND, then it's going to take you to a ballet site. So that's not mine. But secondchancefashion.org, you get to at least see what I did last year and how you can donate to this year's festival, which is going to be in May. So we have stuff on Amazon. If you're not feeling comfortable with giving cash donations, then or sending donations to PayPal or whatever, then you can go on Amazon and look at our wish list.
just want to thank y'all guys for tuning in. Again, I am your co-host, RudeBoyArtist, alongside
MrsMelaninReigns.
and welcome to SLT, the Talk Podcast Talk Show.